What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Happy Wednesday, or I should say happy Loki Day. And we have to talk about today's episode 4, called The Nexus Event. It was just quite an amazing episode, just really went in the direction I didn't really expect it to, and we're going to get into that in this video. So I hope you guys have already seen it, or if you guys are not looking to see it, you guys are hoping for some spoilers, which I will be doing. So in case you guys haven't, click away from this video, maybe watch the episode 3 breakdown that I did instead, or you can watch the Shang-Chi trailer breakdown until you are able to see episode 4. Before we go full speed into the spoiler breakdown, I just want to say please continue to smash that like button. The support that I've been getting has been nothing short of amazing, but just continue to do that. If you guys are new to this channel and you guys keep coming across these videos, consider subscribing. I would love to have you guys a part of the Film Chronicle crew, or whatever you want to call it. I haven't really thought of a name, but I always appreciate new subscribers and more support. And then of course, leave a comment. I always love to comment back and see what you guys have to say, so just keep that in mind. With that out of the way, let's get right into this breakdown. So in episode 4, we actually open up with a young Lady Loki in Asgard, and as she is playing with some of her toys, a bunch of TVA agents come through a portal, and it is revealed to be Ravonna Renslayer leading the crew, and they apprehend young Sylvie, who we now know as Sylvie, but then she was just Variant or Lady Loki. So she is brought in front of the same process as we see our Loki go through in episode 1, but as a young child. So she's taken away for whatever reason. As she's brought in front of the time court, she manages to get away and take Ravonna's temp pad and go away in an unknown place in time, thus setting the events up for where we are now, with the reasoning as to why she needs to capture this variant. We do see a great shot of Ravonna going in front of the timekeepers, but we don't see the outcome of it, but we can gather that she's being told that she needs to go and capture both variants. Very Wizard of Oz feeling, and I just love the music that they're putting on this show. It's just such a great compliment to the scenes that we're getting. It just really kind of raises the bar and elevates the scene itself. Mobius continues to pry and try to get to talk to Hunter C20, considering that she was saying it's real when they came across her. So he wants to know exactly what's going on, but Ravonna mysteriously tells him that he cannot talk to her. So it's pretty fishy and suspect, and like I said before, she's very much a character that I do not trust whatsoever. Mobius is tasked with finding both Lady Loki and Loki. Then we jump back to Lady Loki and our Loki on Lamentus 1, still nearing its end. It's still continuing to be blown to bits and, coming apart from the very seams of the planet itself. From this moment, we do see the trailer shot where they are watching the world blow up. It's a very beautiful shot, and as they do so, Sylvie begins talking about how she grew up in apocalyptic events, because that was the only place that they couldn't find her, since she was continuing to give traces of a Nexus event. So it's a pretty sad reveal, and I actually kind of feel for her having to continue to survive like that and being torn apart from your reality, your life, just for whatever reason that hasn't been revealed yet, and she doesn't even know herself. That's pretty jarring, and it does hit you, and you could definitely see why she's going after the timekeepers for having done this to her and really mess things up for her specifically. While Loki and Sylvie connect, they start to create a Nexus event from that connection being and interacting, thus allowing the TVA to track them. Mobius apprehends both Lady Loki and Loki. With Loki now on Mobius's bad side, Mobius interrogates him, berates him for having any sort of feelings for Sylvie, for having that connection, that's chaos itself. So it's a pretty interesting choice of words that he uses, and Loki continues to try to convince him that the TVA is lying to him, but Mobius doesn't buy it. He's sent into a time loop prison, where in this little cameo we get Lady Sif, and in this pocket of time we see that Loki has cut her hair, and she's getting back at him and telling him that he will be alone and die alone. And it's a pretty sad comment to make, and he has to go through the time loop multiple times. played off for comedy at first, but then it just kind of gets more and more in the feels, I would say. Back at the TVA, Mobius continues to try to talk to Lady Loki now and wanting to interrogate both variants, but another mysterious reasoning with Ravonna not wanting Mobius to interview Sylvie. It's definitely very suspect of Ravonna to not want to do this, but I've already had my suspicions about this character, and I'm sure you guys have too. I also love that in their conversation, Mobius name dropped that they've had Titan variants, Kree variants, and Vampire variants. My dude Mobius always gets the best lines, so I mean, I can't complain. But Mobius still does have his suspicions by being told that he cannot interview the Lady Loki variant, and Hunter B15 also is shown to have known something because she was enchanted as well, and whatever that did revealed something to her, just like it did Hunter C20. She actually ends up asking Mobius if Loki told him anything, and she reacts when Mobius tells her that Loki told him that the TVA was lying to all of them. Something's up, and you definitely feel it in this episode. They're definitely planting the seeds for you guys. Mobius goes back at our Loki again, and after the questioning and intense berating, Loki reveals that they're all variants, that even Mobius is a variant, and it kind of makes Mobius laugh, and he doesn't believe him at all. Simultaneously, at this point, Hunter B15 realizes that she needs to do something, so she goes to Lady Loki, takes her back to Alabama before the apocalyptic event concludes. So while they're there, she reveals that she can't create memories, so the memories were there, and B15 asks her to show her again, and she does, and this allows B15 to trust and believe Lady Loki. All the while back at the TVA, Mobius still has his doubts about Ravonna and her reasoning as to not let Mobius to interrogate Sylvie, so he continues to pry and ask questions while she continues to deflect and give roundabout answers. And while she gets up to display a new trophy that she got for capturing them and pretty much closing the case, he takes her temp pad so that way he could get more information since he already doesn't trust her to begin with. And Mobius finds out through her temp pad that C20 is deceased currently, and that's why he wasn't allowed to talk to her. And also in the interview that she had, she revealed that she saw her life before they took her in the sacred timeline, and that it was Ravonna who decided to cut the interview and end up killing C20, presumably, or actually having her ordered to be killed, or pruned, as I should say. Now, knowing the truth, Mobius decides to go with Loki and try to team up. While they try to go back, Ravonna's already there with a full crew of TVA agents ready to go. Clearly she knows now that he knows what's going on, and in his little speech that he gives to Ravonna, he tells her that if there's any place that he would want to go, it's where he's from before the TVA came and took him, now knowing that he is a variant just like the other agents of the TVA. And she orders him to be pruned in one of the most shocking scenes that I have seen. I'm still reeling over it right now. It's actually really hard to process. Marvel, man. Marvel knows how to hurt you with these shows and these movies, but it's a good kind of hurt because we know it's going to pay off in the long run. After that, Ravonna takes both Lady Loki and Loki in front of the Timekeepers themselves, but B15 comes through, having been revealed to have escaped, or at least put in a different piece of time with the temp pad, and come back at the right moment to free Lady Loki and Loki of their collars and allow them to have a fight. This fight is actually very reminiscent of the Last Jedi fight scene in the throne room with Snoke. I loved it. I think the Timekeepers themselves, the reveal is super cool. Their design was really cool, and I like the voices. And of course, with the fight scene that we get, we see that Loki and Sylvie actually come out on top just when Sylvie has her revenge by throwing the sword at that Timekeeper's head. Once it comes off, it's actually revealed that they're robots or androids with electricity and sparks coming out rather than any sort of type of blood, and the head rolls down with them laughing as they power off, thus revealing that it was all a trick, that it was all a lie, and that there is more and more lies that we're not fully aware of. And it also matched with my theory that there is a puppet master playing the puppeteer, and this just goes to show I was expecting something like this, but the way that they did this in this episode was truly amazing, and it had my jaw on the floor. From Mobius getting pruned to now, it's just amazing, well written episode. Seemingly defeated as they realize that there is no end to this, even though Sylvie believed that this was the final point and this was her sweet revenge, Loki decides to try and tell her his feelings for her, But before he can do so, he is pruned. He is pruned. Our Loki is pruned in a shocking moment that almost tops Mobius being pruned as well. I just couldn't believe it when I saw it unfold on screen, but I was so glad when Sylvie was shown to get the upper hand and threaten Ravonna and make her tell her what the hell is actually going on in the TVA and what's happening, and that's where the episode ends. It's just an amazing way to cap off this episode. And don't forget to stay around for the mid-credit scene, because the mid-credit scene itself is just freaking amazing. We get multiple Lokis in a seemingly destroyed New York, because we do see the destroyed Avengers Tower from the trailer shot, but we see Kid Loki, Gator Loki, we see a black Loki with a hammer, and we also see classic old man Loki in a full classic costume, played by none other than Richard E. Grant, who I suspected was playing this older version of Loki. Wow. Just what an episode, guys. I think this was the top episode for me since the first two. I would say it's 4, 1, 2, then episode 3 as far as my ratings list. I can't wait till next Wednesday. It's going to be so good and so special. I'm just so freaking excited for this series to continue with these episodes and then continue for a second season and just see exactly what this means, because a lot of the theories that I've been giving and talking about have been definitely lining up with Kang being involved, with the Timekeepers being a sham, and you know, a lot of other things that I won't talk about so much until they're revealed to be true, but I mean, a lot of it's coming into play. So that will conclude my spoilers discussion. I would give this episode a 10 out of 10. Definitely the top episode so far in the Loki series. So go watch it if you guys haven't, and if you guys didn't really care to watch it and you love the spoilers, I will say that the spoilers just aren't enough. You need to see this all unfold on screen. It was a really well shot, well directed episode, and the music just continues to get better and better. So I'm just super excited again for episode 5 and 6, and I can't wait to see where this goes and the trajectory that this puts the Marvel Phase 4. And we're only in the beginning of Marvel Phase 4 with only 3 TV shows and 1 movie coming out next Friday or Saturday, July 9th, whatever day that falls on. So just keep that in mind. Thank you guys once again. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace.